Hi everyone, welcome back to Plot Twists, the channel where we talk about everything reading, writing, and plot. Today we have the start of potentially a new series for the channel, as well as over at Bartell's Bookshelf. We went to one of our favorite locations today, Half Price Books, and we did something a little bit different. So what we ended up doing was we kind of wanted to surprise ourselves. We wanted to let the fates decide what kind of books we got. So we are dubbing this the Book of Fate series, assuming it goes well, I suppose. So what we did was we found a few free generators online. One was a wheel spinny thing. We added in all the genres that we could really think of that were fiction. We stayed away mostly from the non-fiction things. Just things that we would likely read. So we spun the wheel, and that gave us a genre, so then we went to the genre aisle. Then came up with another generator for an author's last name. So we used the generator to come up with the first letter of the last name, and then we rolled a basic d20 to see which book on that shelf we got to pick up, and whatever the book that was, we had to buy it. We had a few rules. If we read the book already, we didn't need to grab it, obviously, or if we owned the book already, we didn't need to grab it. If the generator came up with a last name that wasn't on the shelf anywhere, we had to just re-roll. So yeah, it was essentially just to get us out of our genres mostly, and go from there. So I'm going to go over what I ended up getting today. And yeah, that's about it, so let's get rolling. The first one that it came up with for me, I can't remember the exact order now. The first book I ended up getting was a young adult, with the letter S. And I don't remember if it was the 15th or the 16th book. But I ended up having to pick up Rainbow Boys, which is a young adult, and lucky me, is about gay kids. So that started off things pretty interesting. Came up with a few, or gave me a little bit of hope there. We'll see how that goes, though. So yeah, this is Rainbow Boys by Alex Sanchez. Let's see here. High school's hard enough as it is without falling in love with your best friend, who's crushing on the most popular guy in school. Or feeling like your parents would throw you out if they knew you were gay, or being afraid of who you are. So not a whole lot to go off of right there, but Jesse over at Bartell's Bookshelf, I don't believe, did he say that he knew the book, or he had read the book? I don't remember. I'm sure he'll let you know at some point. But yeah, so that was really interesting. It sounds okay. You know, your typical high school love triangle drama, but gay, so not something I'm usually into, even if it is gay, or different, or even paranormal. But we'll see. I heard that the writing is pretty decent. Yeah, so hopefully we'll get into that. So the second thing I rolled up was a genre that I have very, very little experience with. And by little, I mean I had a few of like those dirty romance, like dime novels, books, by Cassie Edwards, who I found out recently had a lot of drama, I suppose, surrounding her books. I guess she stole a lot of it, or just copied a lot of it? Anyway, it doesn't matter. But they were all romance books based around Native Americans, and usually some white girl that fell in love with one. And then, obviously, the dangers of that happening back in the Old West. So I ended up getting Western. And this is what came up. It's Rippin' Rides Double by Max Brand. I know Max Brand is a very popular Western author, or was a popular Western author. This This thing is old. I was actually surprised to see that it had an item number, or not an item number, an ISBN number, just because of how old it is. Yeah, copyright 1930 initially. Copyright renewed in 1958. So yeah, not usually my brand, or not my brand. Not usually my genre. I don't mind westerns, but I'm a fantasy person. That's what I like. So let's see here. This is Ripon. That's a weird name. Like I have any room to talk about weird names. Rode into Tyndale Valley as Tom Paulding's double. 20 years before, Paulding had shot one of the Barrett clan dead. None of the Barretts promised Paulding peace, a large amount of money for land he owned, and the job promised Ripon the deadliest ride of his life. That seems so disjointed. I don't know what that means. The cover gives me a little bit more of an idea. He took another man's name and a long chance on coming back alive. So what I'm assuming is some type of identity theft going on, and now the gang that he owed some money to is now after the fake Tom Paulding, I guess. I don't know what that means, but we'll find out how that goes. And the third book, the final book that we did, both of us did 3, just to get a nice wide range, I suppose, was Mystery. Mystery is something that I have read before. I do like mysteries. So I ended up getting John Saul, which I know is also a very... Holy crap, lighting. Hello, lights. Okay, that's the best you're gonna get. I know John Saul is a popular mystery author, national bestseller. So anyway, I ended up getting Nightshade. And this one, actually, out of the 3, sounded a lot more interesting. So 15-year-old Matthew Moore seems to have a charmed life, until a mysterious fire forces his grandmother to move in with his family. The elderly woman insists on recreating the bedroom of Cynthia, her favorite child who died tragically more than a decade ago. That's kind of fucked up. You move into your grandson's house with his family. I'm assuming one of the other kids, because it's a grandmother. And she's recreating the bedroom of a favorite child? That's messed up. Like, why would you do that in the house of your other child? That's so mean. Soon Matt's life insidiously begins to change. At night, he finds himself haunted by nightmares of unimaginable terror. In the morning, the smell of Cynthia's perfume seems to linger in his room, while his grandmother drives a wedge between his once devoted parents. Matt transforms from a gregarious teenager to a hostile loner. Then, a shocking tragedy shatters the family beyond repair, as a horrific shadow from the past takes on an implacable life of its own, clawing towards Matt with ferocious hunger. So yeah, that sounded really interesting. I'm curious to see where that goes. I'm not a huge fan of this cover. Like, this is just kind of bland. I can't really see what's going on. But whatever. So yeah, I'm interested to see where this goes with it. I'm curious as to what this horrible grandmother, this bitch of a grandmother, is going to do, and how she's going to drive wedges and things like that, and maybe Cynthia shows up again, or maybe the grandmother is Cynthia. I don't know how this works. We'll find out. Right, so obviously I can't go to half price without getting more books, because I have no self-control whatsoever. I like books. So I did get 3 others that were not part of this game. But I'll go ahead and talk about those as well. So the first one I got is, oh my god, Gwen. Hi. Are you stuck? There you go. Alright, so the first one I got is This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. I do like Victoria Schwab a lot. I know she's written a few other things that I liked. Alright, well, it doesn't say what else she wrote in here, but anyway. So this sounded interesting. This is a young adult novel. So this is Kate Harker wants to be as ruthless as her father, to prove she is worthy to stand beside him and lead their city. So it was a little bit of a not your average girl, but I can understand, trying to prove to be ruthless, so we'll see how that goes. August Flynn wants to be human, so that was the thing that got me. I was like, okay, non-human. But he isn't. He's a monster, one that can steal souls with a song. His own father's secret weapon. Their city is divided. Their city is crumbling. Kate and August are the only two who can see both sides. The only two who could do something. But how do you decide whether to be a hero or a villain when it's hard to tell which is which? So I like that, the morally gray area kind of deal. So that's why I ended up picking this up. Alright, so moving on. The second one I got was The Empire's Ghost by Isabel Steiger? So this one was interesting. This is more fantasy, what I'm typically used to. This is a very long thing here, but essentially it was fantasy with political intrigue, which is something I'm always interested in. Let's see here. The Empire of Elistine once spanned a continent, but its rise heralded the death of magic. So that was interesting to me. So now there's no more magic in the world. And then the main character, let's see here, Prince Kelkin, finds himself at odds with his father at his country's darkest hour. So yeah, lots of magic, political intrigue, everything that I'm really interested in. Like I said, it's a long synopsis, so I'm not gonna get into that too much. And the last one I got is actually a prequel to a series that I have already, or at least from what I understand, it's a prequel to a series that I have, or at least the first book that I have. But I got it because I figured, well, why not? It was $2. It was in the clearance section, so who cares? So this is The Prodigal Mage, Fisherman's Children, Book 1 by Karen Miller. So this, I believe, is it's like a sequel. It's like she wrote it after the Innocent Mage, series. But I believe it is a prequel to everything. Or at least it occurs before the Innocent Mage. So for $2, for a pretty decent condition book, I decided I'll grab it. Because I do intend to read the Innocent Mage series, and then we'll see how it goes with this one. But it's in the same world. I'm gonna go with that. I am not all here today. But yeah, so I decided if I like the first one, and I have read a little bit of The Innocent Mage, and it did seem interesting. The writing was really nice. I liked it a lot. And I liked the story concept, so I figured might as well get that for $2. So that was that. Let me know if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed the game at all. Let me know if we should do this again, or if I should do this again at least. And then go ahead and leave any comments or suggestions you have for me in the comment section. As always, I'll have my email address in the description as well, so you can email me with any comments you want to give me, any suggestions, anything else that you would like to say. And that'll be it. So thank you again for joining Plot Twist today, and I hope you have a great weekend and keep reading.